Final Destination Bloodlines is the 6th entry in the Final Destination series. At the start of every film, someone has a premonition that shows them that everyone nearby will die horrific deaths, unless stopped by an upcoming chain of events. However, after interfering, those left alive are added to death's hit list, and are soon killed in tragic accidents. Bloodlines carries on this legacy with another new cast of characters that try to cheat death after finding out that their family is doomed. The film stars a group of relatively unknown actors, along with Tony Todd reprising his role for the final time. Yes, after starring in more than 150 films, the horror legend passed away last year, but left us with a treasure trove of memories. Candyman and this classic franchise were just two of his many achievements, so it seems only right that the last film he stars in is the Final Destination. And what a film it is. I want to start by saying that you don't need to have watched any of the previous Final Destinations to understand this latest one. The film explains itself fully and doesn't require any prior knowledge of what's come before. With that said, I absolutely loved it. To people who know its reputation, it goes without saying that there's a lot of gore, and it will make you wince. But what shocked me was its wicked sense of humour. The dark comedy was placed so well that it balances its tone without feeling gratuitous. Narratively, it pivots between being a family drama, a horror, and a comedy to great effect. Straight off the bat, I was hooked. The 1960s sequence was flawlessly done, and paced really effectively for the opening. In a franchise known for being over the top, it was a welcome surprise to see it start with serious performances, expert editing, and a brutal punchline before flashing forward to the modern day. In most movies, I find that death and comedy go hand in hand, but it's especially true in horror. Adding jokes in between scenes put me at ease, but knowing how quick that can change kept me tense at all times. For my money, Richard Harmon was the standout performance, as he juggles jokes and danger, making for a deadly concoction that I couldn't look away from. He plays the eldest son of the family, Eric, a cocky narcissist that's always trying to show off. The best parts of Bloodlines were when he got to let loose as this laughably reckless character. The mix of concentration on horror and losing focus from sheer giggling made me love it so much more. I'm trying to anticipate when the next person's gonna get offed, but before I know it, I can't help but laugh. That hybrid of pain and pleasure had me rooting for the characters that were left, but always kept me on my toes. In the past, I was petrified of horror films. Convincing performances, unpredictable editing, and surprising jump scares always got me, so watching a new high-budget one reminded me of younger days. I would be shielding my eyes away from the TV, and my cousin would turn the volume up even higher. He'd sit there laughing hysterically as I jumped up in my seat every 5 seconds. Good times. Thankfully, Bloodlines doesn't fall victim to using constant jump scares as a cheap trick. Instead, it crafts a story with violent fates around every corner. Final Destination 5 came out in 2011, so there was a lot riding on this. But when I saw the first tragic accidents, I knew this was going to be different. The special effects of previous Final Destinations have aged poorly compared to modern standards, so it's cool to see them update the CGI to an impressive level. It is genuinely scary how realistic some of these deaths look, to the point where I don't know how it was allowed to have a 15 age rating here in the UK. Visually, it all feels believable, which adds to how jaw-dropping it all is. Literally and metaphorically. You can really feel the difference 14 years and a big budget makes. It was even shot for IMAX, making it the first one in the franchise to do so. What started off as a scrappy little movie with a crazy plot has become a phenomenon, returning from the dead to the biggest screen available. I suppose the only drawback for a film like this is there's always somewhat of a limit to how good it can be. When dealing with a group of half-developed characters in a familiar franchise doing a similar thing, you're bound to see some crossover and fatigue. But what's here is excellently done and left me feeling satisfied that Hollywood horror still knows what it's doing, even if that means reviving a 25-year-old series that's been around longer than me. Overall, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. A gripping and entertaining watch for newcomers and returning fans alike. Bloodlines is like one of those big roller coasters. Leading up to it, you hear a lot of things which make you feel uneasy, but at the end of the day, you just have to sit back and enjoy the thrill of the ride. My name's been Never Hold Back. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you later.
Hey, 5-star review, yeah? Like and subscribe and all the things.